Canada's shocking move has left Ukraine completely speechless, and the world is still trying to process the implications. For years, Canada has been a steady supporter of Ukraine, providing humanitarian aid, economic assistance, and military support. It has always been viewed as a reliable partner, a country that walks the fine line of diplomacy, showing solidarity without overstepping boundaries. But now, everything has changed. In a move that caught global leaders off guard, Canada has taken a step so bold that Ukraine itself did not know how to react. The announcement came suddenly, with little warning, and it immediately dominated headlines across the world. Analysts and diplomats scrambled to understand the reasoning behind Canada's decision and what it could mean for the fragile balance of international relations in Eastern Europe. For months, tensions had been escalating. Ukraine has been battling on multiple fronts, trying to defend its territory, its sovereignty, and its people. Meanwhile, allies like Canada have been providing support, but always carefully calculated to avoid provoking an even greater conflict. Canada's assistance has included military advisors, defensive weapons, intelligence sharing, and extensive humanitarian aid. Each step was measured, carefully announced, and framed as a continuation of Canada's long-standing commitment to peace and international law. But this latest action changed everything. The shock began when Canadian officials announced they would take an unprecedented step in support of Ukraine. This was not just about increasing aid or sending a few more troops or equipment. This was a strategic move that indicated Canada was willing to escalate its involvement in a way no one had expected. While official statements emphasized solidarity, strength, and international responsibility, the underlying message was clear: Canada was no longer holding back. Experts immediately began analyzing what this could mean for Ukraine's military strategy and its political positioning on the global stage. Ukraine's reaction was mixed, to say the least. On one hand, the Ukrainian government expressed gratitude for Canada's support, emphasizing that every bit of assistance is crucial in the ongoing struggle. On the other hand, Ukrainian officials were reportedly caught off guard by the scale and timing of the move. For a country that relies on careful diplomatic balancing, sudden, dramatic support from an ally can create as many challenges as it solves. There are logistical concerns, questions about coordination with other allies, and the pressure of managing expectations in front of the international community. The world's reaction was equally intense. European leaders were quick to comment, some praising Canada's boldness, while others cautioned that such a move could further escalate tensions with Russia. Analysts pointed out that Canada's action signals a new era of international involvement, one where traditional limits are being redefined. It also highlights Canada's growing role on the global stage, showing that the country is willing to step out of its traditional peacekeeping image and take decisive action when it sees a threat to international security. This move did not come out of nowhere. Behind the scenes, Canada had been quietly reassessing its foreign policy strategy. Intelligence reports, military assessments, and diplomatic discussions all pointed to a growing urgency in the situation in Ukraine. Canadian officials realized that the time for cautious, incremental support had passed. They decided that decisive action was necessary, not just to support Ukraine, but to send a clear message to aggressors around the world. By taking this step, Canada has shown that it is willing to lead by example, even if it means taking risks that few other nations would consider. The timing of the announcement was also significant. It came during a period of intense international negotiations, as world leaders were trying to find ways to de-escalate tensions while still supporting Ukraine's defense efforts. Canada's move disrupted these negotiations in a dramatic way. Suddenly, discussions had to be recalibrated to account for this new, bold factor. Diplomats were forced to reassess their strategies, military planners had to consider new scenarios, and global media focused intensely on Canada's role. Within Ukraine, the public response was equally dramatic. Social media exploded with reactions, ranging from excitement and hope to concern about the risks involved. Many Ukrainians expressed gratitude toward Canada, highlighting the importance of international support in their country's fight for survival. Others questioned whether this could provoke stronger retaliation from adversaries, potentially putting civilians and soldiers at even greater risk. The debate reflects a complex reality. While external support is crucial, it also brings new responsibilities and pressures that Ukraine must navigate carefully. Analysts around the world began exploring what Canada's decision meant for the broader geopolitical landscape. Some noted that this move could encourage other nations to take bolder steps in supporting Ukraine, creating a ripple effect that might shift the balance of power in Eastern Europe. Others cautioned that it could escalate the conflict, increasing the risk of unintended consequences. What is clear is that Canada's action has changed the conversation entirely. The country is no longer seen as a passive supporter. It is now an active, decisive player whose decisions can alter the course of international events. At the same time, the move has highlighted Canada's growing confidence on the global stage. Historically, Canada has been respected for its diplomatic efforts, its commitment to international law, and its role as a peacekeeper. Now, it is being recognized as a country willing to take bold action when global stability is at stake. This signals a new era for Canadian foreign policy, one in which careful diplomacy is paired with decisive, strategic initiatives. It also sends a clear message to both allies and adversaries. Canada is ready to act when it believes the situation demands it.